long are you expecting the government shutdown to last?
Well, it is impossible to tell. It's kind of like a war. Once it starts, it's hard to be able to stop. I'm hoping we can get it stopped today. There have been shutdowns as long as 34 days, but it would be great to be able to get this resolved today, and so people can move on with their lives. Federal workers, many of them are on furlough today. That does affect folks at the Mike Monroney Center, National Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, so many different entities that are out there where you've got some folks that are going to work, some folks that are home. TSA are still showing up to work today, but they'll still get their paycheck this week. But 2 weeks from now, if we're still in shutdown, federal workers won't be paid. And so it's very important that we actually get this resolved.
Can you explain, Senator, the sticking points in this conversation this morning?
Yeah, this one's a really strange one. I have to tell you, I've been through several different shutdowns where I understand it. This one, I actually have a hard time understanding. We have something the House has passed called a clean continuing resolution. It's just basically exactly where funding has been for the last year. Keep that going for 7 more weeks while we negotiate the rest of the bills. That is pretty typical, actually. We had 13 of those during the Biden administration where it would just extend for a few weeks while negotiations are happening. That hasn't ever been a problem until now. My Democrat colleagues and Senator Schumer, they put forward about a week ago a proposal. They wanted $1.5 trillion in new spending. They wanted new climate programs. They wanted funding restored to people that are not legally present in the United States. They wanted an extension of COVID-era healthcare policy to make that permanent. I mean, things that were just not rational. They put that out and said, these are our demands. We want all of these things for a few weeks of extension. And we said, absolutely not. Why don't we just keep it going as the House has already passed? Let's just keep it open as it currently is. Let's keep negotiating. And all of that fell apart yesterday. So it's been pretty frustrating of the side-by-side here because it is actually very normal to get to this moment and to say, let's do a continuing resolution. Let's keep us going. Let's not shut the government down. But this time, Senator Schumer said, no, let's shut it down. By the way, it wasn't unanimous in his own conference. Several Democrat senators did join with Republicans yesterday, but we have to have 60. Right. We fell just under that yesterday. We're hoping to bring it back up today, convince a few more Democrat senators. Come join us. Let's at least keep the government open.
Well, Senator, without that 60-vote majority, are we going to be looking at the same thing again in 7 weeks? I mean, what would need to change in order for that not to be the possibility again?
So if we don't resolve this today, it's going to be at least 4 or 5 days because the House is not in session this week. They've already passed the continuing resolution. They did that a week and a half ago, actually. So they've already finished their work in the House. We have the Jewish holiday that starts late tonight, Yom Kippur, so we won't be in session during that Jewish holiday. So it is challenging for us. If we don't resolve it today, it's going to be Friday at the earliest that we could get it resolved. But we'll stay in session Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll just keep going to try to get this resolved until we can get it resolved.
Senator, there's just a lot of fallout, a lot of questions about Social Security, about traveling, and also the president this morning saying the warning is of irreversible consequences. What would that look like?
So a couple things that are coming up on this. The folks that are in federal agencies, some will be declared essential. They've got to be able to be there. So, for instance, TSA, federal law enforcement, other folks, they've got to be able to be there. But there may be some assistants and others that are in those same agencies. They're declared non-essential. They would be home. Now, all federal workers will be paid eventually, whether they were furloughed at home or whether they were there. They will all be paid or given back pay even if we miss a paycheck 2 weeks from now. But the challenge is right now the president is saying if you were declared non-essential, we may need to look at this and say if you're non-essential for this time period, maybe you're not essential forever on that and may just start laying people off and do what's called a reduction in force for individuals that are non-essential. Now, the president's not made a decision on that, but has asked every agency to send in them the list. If there are individuals that are non-essential for a shutdown, maybe they're non-essential long term.
Senator, 15 seconds left. Your message to Oklahomans this morning.
Yeah, keep praying for the nation. This is what's happening in D.C. is quite frankly a symptom of where we are as a country right now. We're exceptionally divided as a nation right now, and that's bubbling up here where Democrats are saying they're going to do whatever they can to be able to fight President Trump. People are digging in and saying, nope, we're going to do whatever we can to be able to keep it open and support the president. So we've got to be able to resolve our differences on this to be able to help the American people get things resolved. Most people are just frustrated with Congress in general. But quite frankly, we're just divided as a country. So let's find a way to be able to unify each other even while we disagree.
Senator, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here on News 9 this morning, and we'll have more conversations, I'm sure, with you in the coming days.
Thanks, Senator.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
All right, much more ahead here. We'll be back.